It was 1978 when Doug was an All-American wrestler and football player, tackling his first year of college at Alfred University in New York. But on Father's Day of that same year, Doug came face-to-face with his toughest challenge. Doug was a 6'4", 230-pound lifeguard. While on duty, he dove into the pool to save a young boy, but he struck his head on the bottom and broke his neck.
As I got closer, I see there's like this blood around the pool area where he is, you know, in the water, and he doesn't look right, and something's wrong. So, like, you know, I just like dove in, and I came up behind him, and I just, you know, it was not good, you know.
It turned out the boy had played a practical joke, but no one was laughing. Doug was paralyzed from the chest down.
It is a nightmare. In the beginning, it's disbelief and anger. You know, you just don't know why it happens.
You have to change your focus as opposed to saying, why me? Say, why not me? You know, who am I to be immune to adversity? You know, the president got shot, the Pope got shot, you know, and these things happen. That's reality.
But it wasn't always that simple. Doug was devastated after the accident. He even thought about suicide.
We were very aware of it, and I think we never left him alone, never. He had to know that we just loved him no matter what his condition was, and he was just going to be the same boy as ever.
If I had to dedicate my life to somebody, it would certainly be my family, because they've been there every step of the way. You know, I really attribute my success to them.
And his success comes in many forms. In April of 1986, Doug won the pentathlon during the World Championship Wheelchair Games in Islesburg, England.
When I first got involved in wheelchair sports, I thought it would be, I guess the term is gimpy, you know, everybody with towels, blankets on their laps with their mothers pushing behind their wheelchairs, you know. But I didn't realize that these guys are lifting 600 pounds, pushing under 4-minute miles in wheelchairs, and they're tremendous athletes.
Designed an exercise program for him to do right from the bed, and then from the exercise program from the bed, we developed it further into the wheelchair when he finally was out, and then we found out about the wheelchair sports, and we just thought, you know, hey, there's something here. We have another vehicle, another direction to take our whole lives in.
If you're a fan of the breakfast cereal Wheaties, you may recognize Doug. In a recent Search for Champions contest, Doug took top honors. He suddenly found himself gracing the cover of Wheatie boxes across the country, along with distinguished athletes like Mary Lou Retton and Walter Payton.
I think being on the Wheaties box is a great statement, and I'm really honored to be on that, because it says, hey, handicap or not, look, you know, you're being on a national thing, and they're proud of it.
Doug also competes in the legal arena.
It's bad enough to be in a wheelchair, you know that yourself. He will become discouraged. He has no freedom of mobility. He can't do anything. He can't go anywhere. It's a serious injury.
He's going to run into too many problems, you know, going home to this.
Doug is going to be a good lawyer, no question about that. Doug is very conscientious. He cares about people, and I think that's an essential quality for a good lawyer.
After the accident, Doug finished college and then graduated from Rutgers Law School. Today, Doug is a licensed attorney. He represents clients nationwide, with particular emphasis on spinal cord injuries.
I think Doug has the sensitivity that it takes to be understanding of the needs of an individual who is seriously or tragically injured.
You know, I think the problem is people just don't realize what problems handicapped people have with access. The more people stand up and feel and say what they're feeling and believe in their rights, more will get done.
Doug is writing a book appropriately called It's Your Choice. He starred in a music video, and Walt Disney wants to do a movie on his life story. Not bad for a young man who doctors said didn't have much of a future.
They're very negative, and they told us in the very beginning that he would be a boy that stays in bed and perhaps looks out the window, and you'll dress him and feed him.
He's done more, I'd say, in the 8 years since his accident, paralyzed, than most people could have done 10 lifetimes.
Away from it all, Doug lives comfortably in a Cherry Hill high-rise with the help of Dick Riddell.
I'm like his right-hand man, really. I do a little bit of everything. There's been days when I've come in and I don't really feel like facing the world, as everybody does. They have their good days and bad days, and I would say 5 minutes with Doug, and I don't know what ever put me in a bad humor to begin with. That's the effect he has on me anyhow.
You're only as handicapped as your mind allows you to be.
Absolutely.
Doug has taught us that, too. He taught us a lot.
He has an inspiration that's contagious. You know, it's success and it's contagious. Everybody wants to touch it. Everyone wants a piece of it, you know.
Life is wonderful because you have the ability to make the choices that will be helpful for you. But the ability to go with the flow and to make changes in your life is certainly something that's going to make you a winner.
Take your passion.
Ruth, I know since we originally did this story on Doug Heir, he's received a number of awards.
That's right, Pat. He's had a distinguished award from Rutgers University, from Ramapo College, and he's also been traveling around the country speaking to other handicapped people. He tries to motivate them and get them in a good state of mind the way he is right now. So he's been doing a lot of that kind of work.
I know he also received the Governor's Award as well on a telecast that we did on New Jersey Network.
Yes, and I'll tell you, I talked to Doug right after that, and he was very proud and very honored to get that award.
You came away with a real good feeling about Doug. Tell me, he was such an interesting guy and such a motivated individual, it seemed.
Well, Pat, after the accident, his family really got behind him, and they motivated him. He told me he wanted to commit suicide because he felt that his life was over, but his brother Brian got him going again, and his parents stuck behind him, a very spiritual family, and they're such an incredible family. You just have to be around them, and you can feel the motivation and confidence that they have in him, and it goes over to Doug.
I know. Well, geez, he's become such a famous individual now, too, with the Wheaties box, plans for the book, the movie, and, of course, you turn on the TV in the morning, you might see him as well.
That's right. I caught him on the Today Show about a week ago, so he's becoming a pretty famous guy.
Certainly a guy who's deserving of all those honors as well. When Sports People Play continues, we'll take a look at a young teenage Jew